mind killing people, but if they had to do it themselves, she wouldn't fight. She's a coward.
Former President Trump defending comments he made in the West. Tonight, Arizona's Attorney General gets involved. The Vice President Harris imploring voters to consider all of this as Election Day approaches.
He has increased his violent rhetoric, Donald Trump has, about political opponents and in great detail.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to the West Coast Wrap on this Friday. I'm Frank Mallicoat. With just 4 days to go now before Election Day, Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays says she's looking into comments made by the former President Trump, the Republican presidential nominee, wasting no time defending what he said about former Congresswoman Liz Cheney.
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face.
That is just some of what the GOP presidential nominee said about former GOP Congresswoman Liz Cheney last night. That's all during a campaign stop in Glendale, Arizona. Cheney has endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris. Today, the former president doubled down on the comments during a campaign stop in Michigan.
I think that Liz Cheney is a disaster. All she wants to do is blow people up. She's a war hawk and a dumb one at that. And if you ever put her into the field of battle, she'd be the first one to chicken out.
Vice President Kamala Harris said those comments prove he should not lead the country.
This must be disqualifying. Anyone who wants to be president of the United States who uses that kind of violent rhetoric is clearly disqualified and unqualified to be president. Representative Cheney is a true patriot who has shown extraordinary courage in putting country above party. Trump is increasingly, however, someone who considers his political opponents the enemy, is permanently out for revenge, and is increasingly unstable and unhinged.
Cheney reacted to the former president's comments with a post to X saying, in part, this is how dictators destroy free nations. They threaten those who speak against them with death. Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays has not said whether she thinks the former president broke the law. She did issue a statement saying only the Arizona Attorney General's office is looking into whether Donald Trump's comments about Liz Cheney violated Arizona law. The office has no additional comment to make at this time. Backlash over the former president's comments coming the very same day early voting wrapped in the battleground state of Arizona. Fox's Kennedy Hayes spoke with voters out casting ballots.
I'm at a voting center on Arizona State University's campus, and many students tell me this was their first time voting, and they came ready, knowing exactly what issues they were voting for.
I would love to see prices to go down, consumer prices. It has been quite tough as a student to make some ends meet.
Our social aspect of the country, I feel like we're taking a really dark turn for like how we interact with people and the state at which people do things in our country. So I'm also leaning towards a more empathetic kind of, change in our government.
Maricopa County remains the most important battleground in the state. It represents more than 60% of Arizona's registered voters. County election officials say they've seen a record number of return ballots so far. Students told me the 2-page ballot took them anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour to fill out. President Biden won in Arizona in the last election, flipping the state to the Democrats for the first time since 1996. We know based on previous elections, ballots cast before election day are reported first, and they tend to be Democratic. The gap usually narrows as Election Day votes are counted, and mail ballots delivered on Election Day or late earlies take the longest to count. Maricopa election officials say it could take up to 2 weeks to count all the ballots after Election Day. In Tempe, Arizona, Kennedy Hayes, Fox News.
Both major vice presidential nominees will head west tomorrow. Governor Tim Walz, Senator J.D. Vance. They will both attend several campaign events in Arizona and Nevada. Senator Vance will push former President Trump's agenda during a rally in Las Vegas. Democratic nominee Governor Walz is expected to participate in multiple events across the Las Vegas Valley. Governor Walz also plans to make campaign stops in Tucson and Flagstaff, Arizona. He has a rally planned in Flagstaff. Details of his plans in Tucson have not been revealed just yet. Senator Vance will speak with voters in Scottsdale. Now, people in one Washington State county are curious to see whether they'll live up to their reputation of being bellwethers in the race for president. Clallam County, northwest of Seattle, is a county in the entire nation where voters have chosen the same candidate as the Electoral College for 40 years now. Fox 13's Alejandra Guzman got some insight on this political phenomenon from people who live there.
Nestled in the Olympic Peninsula, you don't get to Clallam County by accident.
Everything it has to offer in terms of outdoor recreation and just really beautiful vistas.
We live in a really special place, and we get to live here on purpose.
Nature attracts people to Olympic National Park. It's home to Forks, Port Angeles, and Sequim. The population is dense, about 78,000 people who are said to be independently minded, according to Mark Abshire, director of the Port Angeles Chamber of Commerce.
We really do have an intermix of, Trump sign in the yard, Harris sign in the neighbor's yard, and we all respect each other's opinions.
You can say the county is purple, regarded a competitive area politically. People in Clallam County have voted for the winning presidential candidate for the last 40 years, 11 elections. There were 19 counties that had a successful record, making them bellwethers like Clallam County. But in 2020, 18 of them voted for Trump. Clallam County was the only county who voted for President Joe Biden. Clallam County also voted for the winner in the 24 of the past 26 and 29 of the past 33 presidential elections. The county voted Republican 20 times and Democrat 13 times.
As a county, we voted for Donald Trump in 2016. So, it just goes to show we don't really lean as a county one way or the other necessarily.
I think it's because we're so diverse. We are, in a lot of ways, a little old-fashioned.
Sequim is a one road in and one road out type of town known for its drier and sunnier weather, making it the ideal retirement destination.
But the further west you go, you're looking at outdoors people, loggers, fisher folk. So I think it's the diversity of the county that continues to represent the demographics of America on a small scale.
This is a big deal considering the area lacks diversity found in larger urban areas. Abshire emphasized an active Native American community and a growing Hispanic and Latino population.
It's incredible. We know how to pick them. We know how to pick a winner here in Clallam County. And I'm really hoping that we do the same again next week.
And that was Fox 13's Alejandra Guzman reporting. Remember, you can stay updated on election headlines in the West by visiting our website, westcoastwrap.com. Big party in L.A. Over 200,000 cheering Dodger fans celebrating the World Series champs with a parade through L.A. today. Police officers were quick to respond to scuffles and other problems along that parade route. Fox 11's Susan Hirasuna shows us how they handled unruly people in that Dodger crowd.
The celebration continued in the streets of downtown LA even after the Dodgers left the area. Bikers took over intersections. This man took a brief joyride on a sideboard. Taggers went after a self-driving Waymo. Others climbed onto a thin ledge to tag a parking garage.
He fell off the building.
Priscilla Flaherty saw a man after he fell and then noticed an 11-year-old boy.
And everybody started screaming, and then I just heard his son screaming, "That's my dad, that's my dad." And I got him and I hugged him and I told him, "No, don't get near him, just hug me." So I just started hugging him and I walked him away.
Apparently the man had been drinking on the third floor of the garage.
I asked him, "What's your dad doing up there?" And then he said, "Oh, he's going to tag RIP." And that's when that happened.
Yeah, we'll be about 10 or 15 minutes, hopefully.
The sheer number of people who stayed in downtown brought out LAPD in force and made it difficult for paramedics to get to the injured man. He and the son were taken to the hospital, and police continued to use skirmish lines and sheer numbers to move the crowd along. There were moments like this one. A man in a wheelchair seemed to be aiming for police. They stopped him, but then another man approaches. An officer used his baton to move the man away. He seemed to continue to argue with police, and then a shot from the less than lethal rifle.
Oh! He just hit him with a rubber bullet.
And that was Fox 11's Susan Hirasuna reporting. Troubling incidents didn't put an end to the party, though. After the parade, the World Series champs held a big rally at Dodger Stadium. Up next here on the West Coast Wrap, new incentive tonight for striking Boeing employees to get back to work. We'll take you to the picket lines in the Pacific Northwest, where some are already saying it's just not enough. And a RoboCop of sorts on the ground in Las Vegas. We're going to show you how this new technology is designed to help save lives.
And in weather, here's our live camera looking out toward the Bay Bridge in the San Francisco Bay Area. Rain is moving into Northern California tonight, and we'll have the weekend forecast update coming up.
I think it's going to be close, but hey, one way to find out. We'll see Monday.
That they will. Uncertainty for Boeing employees walking picket lines in the Pacific Northwest today. There's a new offer on the table for Boeing machinists who have now been on strike since September. The plane manufacturer hopes sweetening a deal that was rejected last month will get their employees back to work. Fox 13's Sean Chitness spoke with union members walking the picket line today. Some are already saying the deal they're being asked to vote on Monday still falls short.
Well, with a new deal on the table, Boeing wants to emphasize that they will not be bringing back a pension. And that is significant because the folks who are out here today say that that is what they are really looking for as they get ready for another vote on Monday. This new offer is closer to the 40% increase the union has been pushing for, but members out here today at least say they really want to see that pension. The deal itself is a 38% wage increase over 4 years. The union released a statement saying that they believe they can declare victory in negotiations with this offer, and it's time now to take the gains on the table. They go on to say that waiting any longer to make a deal could lead to a less attractive offer. Proposals have been rejected twice, though, already by union members. 64% voted no just last week. There are about 33,000 machinists who have been on strike for almost 50 days, and workers out here this morning say they have strength in numbers, which leaves them confident to keep striking.
For me, I'm ready to go through the new year. And I know plenty of people who my age are excited to be able to do that because it's a rare opportunity, right? There is large concern of kicking the can down the road. If we do it, that hurts us, right? If you take less now you're going to be fighting just to make up for what you could have possibly achieved the last time around.
So the average annual pay for a machinist would be around $119,000 at the end of a 4-year contract. That's an increase of about $44,000 from the previous contract average, which was $75,600. There's also a $12,000 ratification bonus as part of this offer. But talking to workers who were out here today, they say even as a younger employee, they are really looking to that pension. It's almost more important to them than the number for their salary. Boeing again, though, saying that pensions are just too expensive, and that's why most private companies have taken them away. In Renton, Sean Chitness, Fox 13 News.
The Biden administration has announced Silicon Valley city of Sunnyvale will be the site of a new computer chip and semiconductor research facility. That facility will be part of the National Semiconductor Technology Center. It will focus on research and development for the semiconductor industry. It's all part of a major push by the federal government to increase chip production here in the U.S. after the supply chain disruption of the COVID pandemic.
We want to stay ahead of the game if we want to make sure that China does not succeed in their race with us. We have to put our best foot forward, and that best foot forward is Silicon Valley.
Officials say the exact location is still to be hammered out. The future facility is expected to create over 200 jobs, though, and bring in over $1 billion in research funding.
Well, in weather, we are tracking a system moving up into the Pacific Northwest. In fact, making its way south into Northern California. So tracking some more rain coverage tonight for parts of the West. Not so much, though, as you can see in the Phoenix area, also down towards Southern California. Just a band of high clouds approaching Los Angeles. But here's where the action is, as you can see in Northern California, approaching San Francisco and also up toward Portland and Seattle. And they'll continue to pick up the active weather into Saturday in terms of the rainfall and potentially some snowfall as well. So a lot of energy up here, at least showing up on the satellite and the radar. It's cold enough that we do have a winter weather advisory in place for the west slopes of the Sierra. This started at 5 o'clock today, and this will run until 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, and snowfall could be around 2 to 8 inches in the Sierra. Current numbers right now, it is 77 degrees in Phoenix, out toward Portland, Oregon, 54. San Francisco and Los Angeles checking in 60 degrees. In Seattle today, rainfall is on the order of 0.33 over the past 24 hours. Of course, lots of clouds in place and a temperature of 51 degrees. In San Francisco, some pockets of fog near the coast and also some high clouds increasing throughout the day. Temperatures in the 60s, and in the Phoenix area, lots of sunshine, some visiting high clouds, and temperatures mainly in the lower 80s. So here's the plan for tomorrow. More rain for Seattle. Temperatures will be in the 50s. Partly cloudy skies for San Francisco. Rainfall for the Bay Area mostly will be tonight into early tomorrow morning. And then some sunshine, and then some warm conditions as you can see out toward Arizona for tomorrow. So here is the forecast model in terms of the rainfall. You can see the bulk of the activity in your Saturday forecast will be up toward Portland and Seattle. San Francisco picks up most of that 0.18 overnight tonight into early Saturday morning. And that's what the forecast model is showing. As you can see, this is Saturday morning, 11 o'clock. There is a slight chance of a shower in Southern California. And then this is Sunday. You can still see some rain up towards Seattle, maybe Medford, Oregon. And then look what happens into Sunday. Maybe possibly somewhat of a break up here. But what's interesting is there'll be some more action that could lead to maybe some lower snow levels, and that could spill into the area for the Seattle area early next week. So more rain, more snow, and some cold air moving in. Here is the forecast, as you can see, over the next few days. San Francisco, more sunshine on Sunday, approaching the lower 70s. Southern California, 60s and 70s, mainly in the 70s out toward the Phoenix area. So as you can see here, still some raindrops, but also still some warm temperatures over the next few days, especially focused to the south.
Thank you, Mark. Coming up, 3 people were killed, 3 others injured in a shooting at a house party on Halloween night. This happened in North Glen, a city north of Denver. Officers arrived at the large house party to find 1 person already dead, 5 others with gunshot wounds. The victims, all taken to the hospital, where 2 later died. Police said in a statement that they don't have a suspect in custody, but added that there are no known threats to the public at this time. Victims' names are being withheld until family members have all been notified. Sheriff's deputies in California's Central Valley say they were shot at when a man took matters into his own hands. They believe the man was alerted about a security alarm going off and then shot at the deputies, thinking they were the people who set off the alarm. Fox 40's Juliet Smith spoke with the sheriff about the suspected vigilante encounter.
This is truly an unfortunate sequence of events. The suspect drove up in a golf cart, pulled out an AR-15 style assault rifle, shot twice at officers, believing that they were the ones that appeared on his grandfather's security alarm. Fox 40 can now identify the suspect as 38-year-old Richard Gonzalez. He's been charged with assault with a deadly weapon. Additionally, Gonzalez's AR-15 is an illegal firearm that is not California compliant. The suspect also had a high-capacity magazine, pistol grip, unregistered collapsible stock, and an illegal assault rifle suppressor. He is not facing charges for assault with a deadly weapon against an officer, since it appears he didn't know who he was firing at.
Really compounded his problems by bringing an illegal weapon with him and then discharging it at people who he had no idea who he was shooting at. And even if it had been the bad guys, you know, citizens have a right to protect themselves and their property if they're under imminent threat of bodily injury. Other than that, you don't just get to shoot at people.
Sheriff Withrow says it appears that the suspect reacted to protect his grandfather, but his mistake was not contacting law enforcement. Had he done so, he would have known they were in the area handling the situation. The Sheriff's Department says the shooting underscores the vital importance of leaving it to law enforcement to handle dangerous situations. Gonzalez is still in custody. Meanwhile, the 3 suspects who set off this security alarm here are still on the loose. In Stockton, covering local news that matters, Juliet Smith, Fox 40 News.
Well, it's not a pet. Coming up, how this robo-dog could soon fight crime here on the West Coast. And we'll see some new technology in action, changing the life of a first grader. It's all next here on the West Coast Wrap. Welcome back. A Washington mother credits new technology for helping her communicate with her son. Fox 12's McKenna Marks shows us how it works.
Go, Penguin, go!
Push or drop. There you go. Nice.
Carter is just like your typical first grader. He loves video games and is a big WWE fan, as you can see from his Halloween costume. His mom, Lisa, describes him as sweet, funny, and kind. But Carter was born with cerebral palsy. Carter is intellectually aware, but has limited mobility and communication capacity. To help Carter communicate, he is learning to use a brain interface computer. Here's how it works.
Push them off.
Carter wears a cap that records signals from his brain. He's already set up 2 commands, one that's neutral and one that's active.
The software can read the brain waves and the differences between those 2 activities in his brain. Imagine something that he's physically doing to make an active command.
Once the computer program matches Carter's active command, it results in an audio signal. For Carter, you'll get a yes.
Am I a food?
Yes, yes, yes.
Or a no.
Am I a dessert?
It's been a learning process, but Carter's mom says it's been fun to learn about the technology and see her son use it to communicate with others.
Nice job.
This idea that him training and like it reading where on his brain that like the push connects to, and then just that stronger connection, so then he like can make it do what he wants to do when he wants to do it. He doesn't have to wait for anyone.
Speech and language pathologist Sebastian Charbonneau says usually these projects are designed for adults. He tells me it's been fun to see this technology help give voices to children with disabilities.
Even if our bodies don't work the way that we want them to do, that we still have the power to be able to access life in general.
As technology continues to progress, Charbonneau says more doors will open for kids like Carter. And Carter's mom, Lisa, says it's been fun to watch her son grow.
I just feel like his little butterfly wings and the effect that they're having it's really cool to be a part of.
In Vancouver, McKenna Marks, Fox 12 Oregon.
Finally tonight, Las Vegas police officers hope to put a new high-tech police dog to work. They think this so-called robo-dog has potential to save lives. It's about the size of a golden retriever, has a snake-like head that functions as its arm. Its tail is set up with a number of cameras. Commands are sent with a tablet and a remote controller.
I can attach different types of sensors and monitors to it, and then we can see what we have. Or I need to see if I can detect somebody hiding behind something. I can go to that infrared mode, and it should be able to see them.
Vegas police officers have not said when they expect to start using that technology to fight crime. That's a wrap on West Coast Wrap. Have a great weekend, everybody.